Hello and welcome to Jeremy's Yorkshire Allotment Adventures. These are on here, by the way, to keep the birds away. It's a beautiful day. I say beautiful day. Do you know what it is? It's calm. It's a lovely calm morning. The breeze is here but quite low. The birds have been singing their hearts out. It's clouded over, but it's really nice. Still is another word I'd use. Calm and still, relaxing and tranquil. That's what it is on the allotment this morning. I've just been in here to check my tomato plants and I've got one chilli. Unfortunately, the poor chilli was attacked by something, so I've put lots of coffee grounds around every single thing in there at the moment. It seems to be my fix at the moment for slugs, because that kohlrabi hasn't been attacked since I put the coffee grounds down. Now, what we're talking about today? Well, I've just been taking the side shoots from my tomato plants, and in a moment we'll pop inside the greenhouse and I'll show you exactly what we've been doing with those. I've got one of the best viewers' questions I think we've ever been asked. It's funny, but it's absolutely true. A little hint. I walk around the allotment and we do daily clean-up of glass. The question's all about glass. But it's exciting, it's funny, and, well, exciting probably not, but it's a really good question. I hope you will. I hope you're sitting comfortably. I hope you've got a cuppa. I'm longing to have mine in a moment or two. Great to have you on board, and welcome once again to Jeremy's Yorkshire Allotment Adventures. Well, as I said, I've been into the greenhouse and I've been taking the side shoots out of tomatoes. Now, normally you can throw them away, but I wouldn't throw them away if I were you. If you want a brand new plant for nothing. Yes, absolutely nothing. Now, I've got 3 I've taken off. So there's one, look in there. And I've got another one slightly bigger. And then a third one was quite big as well. There you are. Now, what do you do with them? Well, as I said before, when you transplant your tomatoes, you transplant, take the bottom leaves off, because all of that stem has little hairs coming out of it. And those hairs become roots. And so what you can do is get just a pot of compost like that. I use an old pencil, pop that in the middle. There you go. Make it deep enough. And then all you do is you get your tomato seed and take right up to the bottom set of leaves. I said seed there, I didn't mean seed. That bottom set of leaves, and there you go. Pop it down. Where's my water? Give it some water. There you go. Just to encourage those roots to take hold. And there you go. Bob's your uncle. All done. In fact, I've got a photograph of the larger one here. This is it. And you can see, look at that. All the little white side shoots coming off that. And that will encourage that growth into roots. And again, once these grow, transplant, take leaves off deep as possible. And that's why you get extra free, yes, free tomato plants. So stop throwing your side shoots out. Sometimes I in the past, I've left them. They've got big and bigger, you know, leave them too big, take those off. I've thrown them away because I have enough tomato plants. But you don't have to. Brilliant, isn't it? Isn't nature a wonderful thing? The peas seem to be doing okay. Look quite strong. Beautiful colouring. I love the marks on the leaves. It's really nice. I can't wait. A little bit of exciting news. You know, I always love it because we talked about potatoes, didn't we, last week? Are they doing anything on the ground? And I showed that photograph with all the roots coming out. Well, come on. Bit of sunshine, bit of real rain. I know it sounds daft, doesn't it? I always think when it rains on the plants, they seem to grow better. Even though I catch rainwater in my tubs, then I don't know whether it goes stale when we catch it and it doesn't affect them as much, but it really does when it rains and they get undiluted rainwater. They love it. I've stopped rambling. My potatoes are finally coming up, and here's 3 photographs because you have to be really good at spotting. Look at this. First one I spotted, really small, but it's coming. It's on its way. And then the second one, here we go. And of course the third one. And I'm really, really pleased. And that's in the first row that I set. So fingers crossed the rest will start to come now. And we'll start producing potatoes. They need to be a bit like this big out of the ground before I cover them up. And I've had success in my buckets too. They've come up, they've been recovered with soil. So hopefully they'll carry on. Now, let's go to the best question I've ever had. It made me laugh. This is from Darren in Wakefield, and he sent me this photograph, and here's the photograph. And his question simply states, why, after a few years, now he's had a couple of years now on these raised beds, and every time he comes to re-prepare his raised beds, he goes through it, he always produces glass. So this time he's been around, and so his raised beds are empty of glass. But the same as last year, said he got to this position last year, raised beds, empty of everything from the year before, and suddenly you go through again and more glass turns up. Now, I had a theory. I think is it a sock fairy or sock fiend that takes one sock? Well, that one sock, I wonder if they turn it into glass shards that come in wherever you plant. It's a brilliant. So if you have any ideas out there where this, I wonder whether the worms are moving glass around. Maybe they've got a little industry in broken glass. But yeah, brilliant question. I don't know. Where does it come from? It is, though, it's prolific. No matter where you dig. I picked that piece up just outside my covered greenhouse here behind me. And I know that it wasn't there last time I came here. So either somebody's coming onto my allotment and sprinkling glass willy-nilly, or it's just growing. Maybe. That's where glass comes from. Not from sand and very hot, molten, everything else. But brilliant question, Dan. I absolutely love that. Oh, it's so great to be on the allotment. Lots of things are coming up. My strawberries are starting to produce beautiful flowers now, little white flowers with yellow centres. And that centre, of course, obviously becomes our strawberry. I'm keeping those watered. In fact, what I'll do, I'll swap the camera around in a moment. We'll have a look at the raspberry bushes because they are absolutely beautifully green. And some really good news. You know, my Nanan's lavender plant last year, unfortunately, died away. Well, I've got one in the greenhouse, one of the shoots that I cut off, and it's actually coming back. That's coming back now. I've got one outside and another one. Just bung that in soil. I've left it. I've watered it every time I've come up. And I've noticed now a little side shoot is turning green, which means that one is alive. So I've now got two. If we keep these going, that's just brilliant. And that 40, 50 year plus lavender plant, and I know they say lavender plants don't survive very long, really, but I just want them to survive. I love plants. I love having them around. And it'd be great if we can get those just flowering, having a little purple flower on top to attract the bees into the allotment. Funny enough, that might be an old potato that's been left in the ground. It's coming up, won't do anything. Of course, if I leave it, it'll just grow. I'll dig it up anyway and get rid of it. Now look at this beautiful raspberry bush here, and it's doing really well. Last year, I remember it went really leggy. They shot up in the air. Didn't produce that many raspberries, although we did have some. But here, look, it's become bushy, and that's what you need. There's about 7, 8, 9 shoots here, and they're all cut back, not to the ground, because I didn't know whether it was dead or not, so I just cut down to the nearest first bud I saw. So, but it's doing really well. Over there, if you can see it, that odd looking thing, I say odd, I don't mean that plant, that is a gooseberry bush. And it's been up and down actually. Last year it fell out with me because I moved it. It didn't like it. It didn't produce anything, but it's come back this year. And that's a beautiful green too. And then in front of me here, I've got some beautiful, of course, French tarragon. But I think this one here is a rosemary bush. I'm sure that's the rosemary. Yeah, but it smells like lavender. It's funny, isn't it? So, and that's definitely French tarragon because it's got the labelling. These are the ones I rescued again. Absolutely dying, but it's now filling the whole bucket with it, the whole tub, which is fantastic. But yeah, that is rosemary. As I say, it smells like lavender. Absolutely beautiful. That will grow into a huge bush one day. Isn't that exciting? Well, let's pop to Janet in Wakefield. Do you remember Janet said that she was growing most of her veg and flowers from an advent calendar? And Janet, I think we've got the same advent calendar, or at least similar, and with the same plants. And you've sent us some pictures. So there's all the flowers you're growing. I think there's, let's have a look on the list here. We've got, I think, sweet pea, giant sunflowers, one called poached egg, which is brilliant, isn't it? Forget-me-nots, zinnia, mini sunflowers, and nasturtium. So you've got those, which is brilliant, and then you've got all, of course, you've got your fantastic vegetables as well. And I think from the list, let's have a look. So the spring onions, green beans, courgettes. Let's have a look. Cucumber, lettuce, parsley, red salad, rocket, aubergine. That's it, brilliant. So you're growing all those, which is fantastic. And well, it's brilliant. And as I said, I've still got some of mine left, because a lot of these, of course, I've had in bigger packets. Didn't realise, actually, I must go through these again. Maybe get some of the flowers out. In fact, I might do that now. I might stick them in my supposedly wildflower bed. We'll get those planted now and see, hopefully they might come up. So once again, thank you very much for watching Jeremy's Yorkshire allotment adventures. I was just thinking about that. I've got the wormery in my eyeline, and I've been looking up and trying to research how it works. You buy your worms, of course, and then it's like they don't live in the food they're eating. They live in like a layer of coir or soil, and they live in there. And what they do is they go up and get hold of the thing, and apparently they take them down into there to eat. I think that's what I've researched anyway so far. Not quite sure how the bin works, because I don't know where you put your layers yet, but I'll get to that. I'll sort that out. But it's fascinating, interesting. You don't buy the same worms that are in the garden, apparently. Earthworms are what they are. They're earthworms, and they like to eat earth and move around and make lovely holes in the ground so we can get lots of water in, and to aerate the soil, which is brilliant. The worms for there, like tiger worms, some of the names, are specifically for wormeries. So that's an interesting thing. In fact, we'll take a closer look when I get a chance to do some more research on the worm. It has to be within a covered space, not in direct sunshine, obviously keeping away from. So I'm not sure whether I can place it in any of my greenhouses. Maybe the old greenhouse, because it doesn't get massively warm, but it does say possibly a shed. So maybe I might have to build a shed somewhere specifically for my wormery. I'll keep an eye. That would be great, wouldn't it? A little wormery shed. And then maybe I could grow. I could grow mushrooms in there too. Oh, mushrooms. Anyway, I'll stop rabbiting on. As I say, thanks again for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Great to have you on board. Thank you to contributors this week, to Darren and Janet, both from Wakefield, incidentally. So thank you for those questions and those photographs. I look forward to hearing whether you can work out why and where we get all of the glass that comes from Darren's question. Thanks for watching. See you next time here on Jeremy's Yorkshire Allotment Adventures. Ta-ra for now.